What it is, y'all.
Okay.
We live.
Yep, we're live. Saturday night. We're back, America. hmm Well, let me get on with the libation and the mantra. Okay. The revelation of the divine spark. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow. The great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we all now will and commanded to be, is now being and becoming an active force of higher consciousness and an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now. Being and becoming the great primordial dragon god sign Kundalini flames. Now whirling and ascending up our spines, from our root chakra to our central heart chakra, on up to our royal crown chakra, igniting our royal crown chakra, illuminating our first eye, our Lord Amunel Dragra, our hidden priestly grandmaster Magi Dragon God Son King and Queen, igniting all of the 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial Dragon God Son Kings and Queens, and all of our legions of 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 armies 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 of armies. Now, willing all the powers, forces, elements, essence, dark matter, and dark energy within the absolute all into being and becoming all of our wills, serving all of our wills, objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallizing them all into realization, actualization, and form as we all now will and commanded to be. Now, coming down as the unlimited source of energy that we all now need to help us overcome and defeat all of the obstacles and adversities in our way, completely dissolving all of our problems, worries, lack, and fears into complete nothingness. Now, manifesting into our lives as all of the substance that we need to rebuild our life into the proper order and law that we will and desire our lives to be, as we only now affirm the positive abundance in the absolute all as nichness of oneness in the absolute all, manifesting in our lives as divine love, perfect health, vitality, abundance, prosperity in the absolute all, as an eachness of oneness in the absolute all. And the and prosperity in all of our lives, enriching the lives of everyone around us while protecting us from the evil of human thoughts and human deeds and evil deeds, neutralizing all of our enemies, bringing all out war, judgment, death, and total destruction upon the evil, soulless, counterfeit spirits, the robots, the walking dead, the ignorant automatons, and their Lord and God, the demiurge, and all of its archonic forces, enslaving and enriching off of the life of the divine sparks, the Kundalini race, and all of the entities and deities aligned that are aligned against us, enslaving humanity, enslaving us in grotesque matter to be reborn, live, suffer, and die over and over until now, as it is our time to rise to conscious unity as they all fall, as all out war, judgment, death, and destruction is upon them all, as we now will and commanded to be. through the power, force, and might and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible life, from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Abracadabra, ashe.
What's the change?
Okay, the crown chakra day libations. Ain the nothingness, ashe. Ain soft, the infinite, ashe. Ain soft
Okay.
or, the infinite light, ashe. Adam
Ashe.
Catman, Atik Yaman, the ancient of ancient, the most ancient of days, Ari Yampin, the big face, the primordial Christ, ashe. Absolute emanations, our supernal holy universe manifesting in a holy divine infinite magical names, ashe. The great abyss of gnosis manifesting in us as the crown of Zeramp in the small face, the indwelling Christ, the black hole kingdom doth, ashe. Berea, form, creation, and paradise manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical dark archangels and demons within us, ashe. Yetzirah, formation manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical orders of dark angels and demons, ashe. Ashia, the actual physical world in the making, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical earthly kingdom, ashe.
There was a whole lot of police over the
Yashida,
White House.
Yashida, our, our holy divine infinite magical spark, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical will, ashe. Heya, our holy divine infinite magical life force, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical desire, ashe. Neshama, our holy divine infinite magical heavenly soul, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical heavenly thoughts, ashe. Ruach, our holy divine infinite magical soul, manifesting in us as our holy divine infinite magical word spoken through us, ashe. Ruach, our holy divine infinite magical earthly soul, manifesting into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be, ashe. Kether, the supernal crown, ashe. Hakma, wisdom, the supernal father, ashe. Bana, understanding and intelligence, the supernal mother, ashe. Da, the great abyss of gnosis, ashe. Hesed, mercy, ashe. Gavora, judgment, ashe. Tifrit, beauty, ashe. Netzik, victory, ashe. Had, glory, ashe. Yesod, foundation, ashe. Malkut, the kingdom, ashe. The power, force, might, will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty floor. The primordial cosmic flower constantly blooming the absolute all into being, ashe. And to gods and goddesses known and unknown, ashe. To all gods and goddesses known and unknown, ashe. Well, you there? Well, I guess it's me right now. So, hello, America. It's
You
We're back again.
you back?
You there?
Yeah.
Oh,
I had,
okay.
to, I had to go downstairs right quick.
Oh, oh, okay. Well, welcome back. So, what's on your mind for tonight?
Hold on, Lee. I hear echo.
Let's talk about the straw man and setting up your own trust and us getting back into our true uh, nationality, well, our true status.
Oh, okay. People are always speaking of these things on an individual level, but the best approach is to do it as a collective,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Because what is the Constitution? What does the United States have set up in this country? A constitutional government, right?
Yeah.
Well, a constitution is a trust. You know that, right?
No.
Yes, a constitution is a trust. That's why they
Mm-hmm.
call it the public trust, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The public trust. It's called because things that happen in the public are governed by that trust
Mm-hmm.
that called the Constitution. Um, this is the ultimate type of mentality we should have as it pertains to trust. Like you can have your own individual trust, but it only affects you and your family. But
Yeah.
imagine we create a government,
Mm-hmm.
right? And based on the will of the people, because I was just suggesting this to a brother today. We were just talking on the phone, and it's always the same response every time I say some stuff that's outside of our conceptualization.
Yeah.
What's the main response that most people say? They ain't gonna let us do that. I'm like, damn, didn't slavery end years ago? Why are you still thinking like a slave? You, that's the ultimate response. They say they ain't gonna let us do that. I was talking to him about creating our own government in the interest of us protecting us as a people. United States of America does not protect us.
Nope.
Hell no.
Nobody.
It's the
Nobody here is protecting us.
yeah, they subjugate us and use us for what we do, for our benefits as it pertains to the economy, right?
So yeah. So when you say our real purpose, our goal is to returning back to the status that we had before the conquistadors came.
Yeah, that the concept that you're referring to is called post-millennium. It's spelled POSTLIMINY. Post-millennium.
Post millennium.
Yeah, POSTLIMINY.
Post millennium.
Post-millennium. That's the short version, but post-millennium is just the longer version of saying returning back to the status you were in prior to colonization, prior to war conditions, prior to any conquering or invasion of your land.
Mm-hmm.
That's what post-millennium is, and it's respected under international law. Why do we? Why do we? Because you know, a lot of our people they would rather resort to the United States Constitution, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that international law is superior to United States constitutional law?
No.
It is. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The clause 6 of the Constitution even says so. It says any law and any law that is created in contradiction to the treaties, which is international law. Treaties are the result of international law.
Mm-hmm.
Are notwithstanding, right? And that means that was referring to the states. So the states is the international law and treaties are superior to state law. And it's
Now,
superior to federal law. Why? Because you go to the council court jurisdiction. Council court jurisdiction is outside of the jurisdiction of the federal government. So we have powers that are way superior, more superior than the United States government.
okay, now let's say we exercise these powers, these rights. Then how do we deal with this debt-based system? How do we separate ourselves from this debt-based system?
Well, you know what? As soon as we create, the answer is creating our own structural government. Why? Because once you create your own structural government, that operates as a type of an economy. You create an economy as a result of that structure being set up, right? That government structure being set up, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
this is the will of the people, mind you, because it got to be based in political legitimacy, where it's the actual will of the people. Meaning,
Yeah.
we would have to get our people to realize that, and advance to the knowledge of recognizing that that will be the best interest for us to govern over our own affairs, than opposed to what we're doing now, where we allow some entity that basically institutionally enslaved our people to govern over our affairs. It just makes sense.
Yeah, and along with their central banks, we would have to create our own banks.
Yes, all that is possible because we have every right to do so under international law. It's recognized by international law for us to return back to the original state of governing over our own economy, governing of everything is supported by international law. Now, mind you, we don't say that I'm not saying this because we want to be recognized by, no, fuck that. We have every right to do. Self-determination is respected by every nation on the planet. I only refer to it because it's ratified by all these other nations,
Mm-hmm.
meaning they have to respect it. So
Yeah, they would.
when we thinking inferior, like, oh, we don't have the right to do this, and not according to international law. We have human rights. We have the human right to do so.
Yes, human rights, not civil rights.
Well, civil rights is just domestics. Human
Yeah,
rights is international
international, global.
because every country signed on to the UN Declaration for Human Rights.
Okay.
So
Now,
it's
who
ratified by
were
every
we?
country. So they all agree.
So, other than Moors, what did we call ourselves before before we were occupied and became prisoners of war?
Okay, there was a lot of different names that we refer to ourselves as, but at the end of the day, we were ruling as the Moors. Under that
Ruling as
title, the Moors, we were ruling, and everybody recognized we were ruling. And the European nations especially recognize that.
hmm
So, at the end of the day, we called ourselves a number of different things. That's not the point. The point is we were ruling under the title of Moor.
Okay, then that's the title we must go back under. Then whatever title it was that we were a ruling class instead of a slave class. But yeah, it's about returning back to our ruling class. I mean,
Yeah, man.
it's
I hear that. That's like a petty debate in our community, whether we want to identify them. That's not the issue when we're talking about we want to gain our original superior position on the planet again. It's
and,
there. Why? Because the treaties still exist. The treaties are still in effect. How do we know this? You can go into how there was a case between the United States of America and France.
mhm,
The France uh, invoked Moorish treaties to win that case.
mhm, mm, okay,
1956, a court case between 1956. I don't remember the name, but it was a court case between the United States of America and France. France invoked Moorish treaties to win their case. So, and the case was that America claimed that they had most favored nation status,
mhm,
and they didn't. France had most favored nation status according to the treaties. And what I
okay,
mean by most favored nation status in the treaties is that when you do treaties with two nations, it can be bilateral or it can be trilateral or multilateral.
mhm,
When it's trilateral, it can basically you have a most favored clause. Most favored nation inside of it, meaning the one who had the upper hand at the time of the treaty, right? Because treaties are the results of what? War. People were
yeah,
at war and they signed a treaty, right?
mhm, yeah,
So The treaty that they signed with the Moorish Empire were treaties that they surrendered to the conditions that the Moors were subjecting them to.
Okay.
They surrendered to the Moors. We were at war for hundreds of years with them people, man. So we had the treaty because they wanted to. Well, both sides, especially when later on in the Treaty of Peace of Friendship, both sides wanted to secure the finances. They wanted to secure the economy, and the war was getting in the way of that shit. So they had to sign a Treaty of Peace and Friendship to make sure that ships from each side will be able to go free passage and allow the economy to keep growing.
Yeah, it won't be going the shit that's happening right now in the what's over there in the Red Sea.
I ain't even heard of it. Tell me about it.
I mean, the Houthis, they're attacking all the freight ships. Right. It's all over the news.
No, I ain't never heard of it though. I don't look at the news.
Oh well, shit. We're on the brink of a major war with Iran because the Houthis are backed by Iran, and the Houthis, they're attacking all of the merchant ships. They're even attacking American warships as well, and we're bombing the shit out of them. They're attacking back. It's back and forth.
You know what? That's exactly why I don't look at the news. Why? Because we're always on the brink of some shit.
Yeah, well, now more than ever.
Man, I could have said that in the 80s, man. I remember 1989.
Yeah, you could.
I remember 1989, they were saying the same shit you said right now. I swear to God. I swear to God. What you just said right now, that was verbatim. Somebody told me that. Oh, it's more serious now. It's more. I'm like, God damn. And
yeah,
now
well,
from 1998 to 1998 to now, that's what? About 40-something years and shit? Mm-hmm. And they still saying the same shit?
Yeah. Well, they're doing some different shit now.
that conflict was going on since then too, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the conflict has evolved it evolved since then. Okay, Iran, they have their queen surrounding Israel, Hezbollah. Hezbollah have over 100,000 rockets aimed at Israel. So if we attack Iran, then Iran will give the signal for Hezbollah to completely obliterate Israel.
You said if we.
Well, the us as in U.S. Yeah, you're right about that.
I like to remind of my people of that, because when Judgment Day, when Divine Judgment Day come, you gonna say we then?
Hell no.
Exactly. What the why you said we now? Because it seemed like they on top and shit, huh? I want to be a part of the winning team. America has never been the winning team. I'm gonna just be real. Ever since some history, they have bullied the world into accepting the dollar as the main currency of the planet, because they threaten them militarily, or proxy wars, or they go destabilize. Because man, and it's coming to an end. Coming to an end, brother.
Yeah,
and that's what's really going on. So I when I hear my people say we as if that we have nothing to do with it, and I don't think you want the credit of that, man.
No,
you don't want that karma, man.
No, we do not. No. But in a sense, us as the people here, sitting back and paying taxes and allowing this government to do that, in a sense, we are kind of responsible.
Not necessarily, because a subjugated people, like if I kidnapped you, knocked you over the head, and you're not even knowing your identity or disorientated, are you responsible for yourself now still?
You got a point there. No.
What the hell? You gonna knock us over here, fuck us over, and traumatize us and shit. And now we gotta be responsible for our decision making now process. God damn.
Yeah.
All hard on us, man.
Yeah. That you're right about that.
But this is why it's important for us to facilitate this mindset, this inferior and this superior mindset of recognizing that we have the power to govern over our own affairs and create our own government, bro. At the at the end of the day, that's going to be a bigger challenge within us than other than whatever the United States got going on. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest challenge within ourselves. Is because I talk to our people all the time, and they like, oh, they talk about what the United States is going to do. The United States, like, we're a part of that, and actually, we're going to be affected because we're stupidly integrated into a burning building, like Martin Luther King said.
Yeah, it is a burning building. There's nothing that can be done to save it.
So we stop trying to save it. There's a saying that no, she don't want to be saved. Stop trying to save her. She don't want to be saved.
She don't want to be saved.
You feel me? She for the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And America is surely for the streets.
Yeah, she's the biggest street whore there is.
And that's the thing about it. We keep getting emotionally attached, and then practically we start, you know what I'm saying, dependent on that shit. Like, no, we need to become more independent from this motherfucker, man. I swear.
See, yeah, well, a lot of us don't know that we were already here before they came. Before the conquistadors came, a lot of us was already here.
Yeah, that's a lot of things that, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of us recognize that, because I hear that story a lot, that we recognize, like, we don't want to claim African. A lot of us don't want to claim African.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I get it. We are the result of, like, when you say Africa, that's our family, that's our bloodline, that's our kin. But it's like how you got a cousin in Alabama and shit. Mm-hmm. That's just your distant cousin. I mean, at the end of the day, that's family, but we got our own affairs over here.
Yeah, we got our own affairs. They got their affairs.
And as a matter of fact, y'all, a lot of I hear with like a lot of brothers like Tariq Nasheed is saying about how they didn't already gave in to their colonizers. A lot of them giving in to their colonizers. They just said fuck all that. I mean, their sellout is on a whole nother level out there, man. Like, you got sellouts amongst us, but they sellout is on a whole nother level where they worship the ground white people walk on a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So-called white people, because they're not white. We're white.
They will kill for them. Well, those battery companies got those poor kids working in those mines, digging up all the lithium in very, very poor conditions. And them companies making millions and billions, and those poor kids getting nothing.
Well, the resources of Africa belongs to the Africans. But there are a lot of people in Africa, like there's a backbiting. The only reason why the Europeans can even, the pale-skinned nations of the world can even get, because we don't get along, we at each other's throat. If we start getting along, bro, oh my God, it's over. It's over. It is over. Yeah. This is why it's against national security for us to have unity, bro. Yeah. It's against national, let me say that again. It is against national security for so-called black people to have unity, genuine unity. It is against national security.
It is a major threat to the entire world.
Yes. Why do you think Israel said the Council of Israel talk about the greatest threat to Israel is not Hezbollah? It's not, what's the name of that group that they say? It's not, they said it's the black youth of America, bro. Mm-hmm. What? Are you serious?
Yeah, have you seen the black youth in America lately?
I know. I get why she's saying that, because she knows some shit that on some next level shit that she knows some shit. Not only that, but also the fact that we so popular as a people that anything we do, the rest of the world gonna catch
Gonna
on.
follow. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything we do, I'm not talking about all so-called black people around the globe, African. We don't follow. No, the people don't follow. Right now, there's a trend. This whole what they call Afrobeat. That's like one of the most popular music in the but that's way far away from the influence so-called American blacks have, like that whole theory that brother Bobby Hemmett talks about. How we, the so-called black Americans here, are like some great people, some great spiritual combinations.
We're the head of the snake.
Wow.
He called us the head of the snake.
Right. Right. But everybody literally follows our lead.
Yeah, it's
right. Because 92, the riots.
Yes.
What they call a riot, but was actually a rebellion. That didn't just happen in America. It was in London. That shit. It was in Africa, in certain places in Africa. This is why they try to keep it. They try to keep it discreet and then not expose it to the rest of the planet. But at the same time, the world was rioting that day. So that's the influence. Even the Watch riots, the world was rioting that day.
It must have been something astronomically going on at that time, and it manifested as all these different riots.
Well, it's a sentiment of the people, man, that it's so prevalent in the souls and the spirit of the people that it's synchronicity sometimes. It's synchronicity because it's like a sentiment that everyone feels, and it just take a culmination of this feeling to just be overwhelming, and then it's just riding over the planet. It's gonna happen again. It's about to happen again. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, they got that new movie, The Civil War. We're gonna have they want a civil war here. Civil War.
You heard about what's going on with Texas and the federal government, right?
Yes. That's where it's gonna start.
Yeah. They trying
that's
to
where it's gonna start.
The governor of Texas said, "Don't fuck with Texas." He didn't say it like that, but that's what he meant to say. Yeah. He said, "Don't mess with Texas."
Yeah, it's like, state's gonna be going up against DC,
and you gotta recognize the spirit of Texas, bro. It's very rebellious. It's like the whole state gonna go. Like I've been to Texas, bro. This shit ain't no joke. they are proud of me to Texas. They proud of Texas. They ready to go to war. They will go to war with the federal government. I'm trying to tell you. I'm gonna let you know that now.
Yeah,
they will go to war with the federal government, though. I'm gonna let you know that now. I'll tell you that.
And then once they go, California be next, Nevada.
Yeah.
Washington, Oregon.
Yeah. It's a real thing right now. I get what you said. It's like really intense now. Very intense now. It's like something bound to pop the fuck off really, really serious.
This is the time where new governments are formed, because these were the same conditions that formed America 200 and something years ago, when the last time when Pluto was in Aquarius. Okay, America was born. Now Pluto's in Aquarius again 200 and something years later. What's going to happen this time? Is it going to be a rebirth, or is it going to be a death, or both?
It's like
Oh, they're fucking with us now. You froze on me. Yeah, that's what happens when you get on really good topics. They freeze you. You like my starship. Damn. Someone didn't want this to happen. Well, welcome to Black History Month. What a joke, Black History Month. What happened?
Signal. I don't know. My internet tripping, I guess.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what was I saying before?
You were saying, oh man, damn.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, it was.
Well, but, go ahead.
we were moving in the right direction. They had to like stop that energy immediately. So it's February, the biggest joke in
I
history.
should have
Black
reset
history.
my damn internet.
Oh yeah, you need to reset your internet, man.
Huh? Can you
You
hear
keep
me?
freezing. Yeah, now, but you're gonna
Can
freeze.
you hear
You're
me?
gonna freeze. Yeah, can
That's
you
on
hear
your
me?
end now. That's on your end now, bro.
My end. Hmm. Let me see. Mine.
I think that's on you now.
You're experiencing something on your end with me. My signal is clear. Damn. Yeah, this thing called Black History. Mm. It only begins from slavery to now. Our history go back way further than that. Talking about Black history, our it's
There is no such thing as Black history. Fuck that. The
yeah,
hell? You mean
yeah, it's an
the
insult.
original people of the planet's history? Yes.
Well, that's not a well, that's forbidden to be told. But this joke that they give us every February, they can tell that because that only goes back from slavery till now. That's
Well,
Black history.
that only feeds into the inferiority complex that we already have as a people. It only
Hmm.
feeds into that. Like we think we can't even, because like when I tell people about the Moorish Empire and how we was ruling the seven seas, and our people can't even conceive of that. Like, damn, what does that even feel like? What does that even mean? What does that even? They can't even conceive of that.
Hmm.
Yes, your people ruled the seven seas. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
1500, 1600, 1700 was ruled by the Moors. The
Mm.
seven seas, you can go across the motherfucking Atlantis without checking in.
Hmm.
Or if you did, we would jack your ass up. All your goods taken. Fuck out of here. One of the seven seas. We can't even conceive of that to this day. Today.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the problem. And that's one of the biggest problems. We think we were slaves, bro. We were never slaves. We were enslaved. A slave is a
Yeah.
nationality. You know that, right?
Slavs. The
Yeah, that's a
Slavs.
nationality.
Yeah,
That's a
they are
nationality. We can never be a slave.
natural.
That's not our bloodline.
Yeah, they were natural born slaves. We're not. We were natural born conquerors, natural born
Yeah,
warriors,
we
natural
were
born kings and
rulers.
rulers. Hmm.
Right. And let's go into that. I was explaining that to the brother the other day. Do you know we always throw around that, oh, we kings and queens, we the ruling class, and yeah, we are actually the ruling class. Let me tell you why we're the ruling class of the planet. Because we the only one got the bloodline of the original mother, from which everyone else attributes their genetic material to. So that's why we got the original blood. You got the melanated blood. That's why alchemy was the what? The royal art. Alchemy is the royal art. And what is alchemy? Alchemy is just the power to transmutate things based on the fact that you have melanin, bro.
Yeah, and it is the study of melanin and dark matter, and
Yes.
also changing something old into something brand new.
Right. Right. It's transforming matter from one state of matter to another state of matter, or even transferring something into some other form of matter into something totally different.
Or from one source of energy to another source.
Right. It's the science of transmutation. Transmutation. Transforming something into something else. Right. So that's innate in our genetics. It's innate in our blood. We can do this. We've been doing that. Transforming. We are natural alchemists by nature.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? By nature. So, and this is why we have the royal blood. We literally have the royal blood. That's where that comes from.
So it's going to take us to lead this place, to lead us out of this third dimension and into a higher density, and then from there onto a whole new civilization, a whole new planetary.
Like I said, that is what you're saying is a potentiality amongst so many different other potentialities. See, the problem is the reason why the elite have been winning in that is because they understand this philosophy of it's not multi-dimensional, it's multi-potentiality, because these dimensions are not fixed. They're not set in stone.
No.
Right? There are dimensions that are set in stone, but they can fall into obscure reality too, like or a glimpse. It can be a glimpse of or become a mythology too. But what I'm saying is the main objective is the fact that we are creating realities. We create reality. So why we should never be a victim of a reality. That don't make sense. We create reality.
When we are masters, we're the master manifester.
Right.
Yeah. And now
the original man. We the original man. The original man. Right. And that's before there was a physical body.
Yeah. So man existed before the physical world. Man is mind anyway. Man means mind. Manus means mind anyway.
Exactly.
So man is a mental being. It's not a physical being. It take a physical form.
Look, what percentage of our reality is what we will refer to as real based on the alchemic understanding of things, and what percentage is actually something that is just nothingness being turned into somethingness, right? So only 10% of reality, what we're is what we're observing. Only 10%, bro.
I think it's less than that.
How can we determine what is the nature of reality by only being able to observe 10% of what we're referring to and using as a reference point to understand what we call in reality.
Well, here's the sad part. A lot of us only participate in less than that because a lot of us use less than 10% of our brain. Okay. So the 10% of our brain that we use is the 10% of the reality that we interact with. Now, the other 90% of our brain that we don't use is that other reality that is unknown to us.
But let's even go further what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Because we have more than one brain. You know that, right?
Uh, I think we have one in our stomach.
Yes, you do. Right? Because the stomach, if you notice that the stomach kind of looks like the brain, right?
Mm.
With all of these different folds and stuff, it looks like the brain. If you look at a picture of the stomach and you look at this picture of the brain, it looks similar. But what I'm saying is the stomach is a spiritual brain. When you get a gut feeling,
Yeah.
that's from somewhere else. You getting some intuitive signals now from something else.
Yeah,
Right?
you're dealing with
We don't have, a
domains
lot of times we
outside of
don't
this
listen to
domain.
that gut feeling. That gut feeling is like some intuitiveness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a brain. Also,
an intelligence.
it's an intelligence. Yes, it's an intelligence. The heart is the central part of our intelligence.
Yes, the heart.
Since we operate from logic for most part, that's based on a Western way of looking at things or a three-dimensional orientation of doing things, right?
Mm-hmm.
The woman, this is why this is all out of balance in this society, because the woman is outside of her nature trying to be a man. And that's what women are taught in this society. Try to be more like a man, right? That's why you got a lot of women out here. They feel like they have to be tough. No, you don't. That's not your power. That's not where your power lies. Your power doesn't lie in trying to be testosterone driven, right?
Yeah.
You have to embrace your femininity as a woman. You have to embrace your femininity as a woman and realize this is your nature on a cosmic level, not just from a human perspective. From a cosmic level, this is your nature. Women are more aggressive nowadays when they should be way more finesse. Women used to look at the women of the ancient world to the point where the concept of a witch hunt, right, was based on the man was so intimidated by the women and their power and their power. They knew that the women had power and had sway and influence to the point where this is a power that we have to. This is the Western world thinking of it, though, not our world thinking. No, we would venerate
shut it down.
The women would be the priest, and we would listen to her wisdom from a spiritual level. But we will always be ones who would be on a practical level, objective level, the strong man. She would always be the one to actually put us out there to do that.
Yeah. In the tarot card.
This was the matriarch in the day. Go ahead, brother.
In the tarot card, when you're using the tarot card to climb up the tree of life, after the magician, the next card is the high priestess. After on the first path or the second path on the 22 paths on the tree, you have to go to the high priestess, and that's where you get the initiation from, and then from there you go to the empress.
You can even go into all of the prophets and the wise men of the ancient world. If you see pictures or depictions of them, they will always have the divine feminine there at the mighty Yoni.
Yeah, even the God of wisdom, Tahuti Thoth, he has Sachet whispering in his ear.
Yeah, but
So
if
he
you
was
look at all the
listening.
depictions, even Jesus, a lot of Jesus depiction got a big pussy in the back.
Oh, oh, the
If you notice it,
pistis. Yeah, that those two fishes.
right,
When you put those two fishes together, you get a pussy.
right,
Yeah.
right, because
Mm-hmm.
that was a representation of the divine feminine, and they
Mm-hmm.
knew that they needed that divine feminine spiritual power around them in order for them to do stuff that they did, great feat that they had did. They
Yeah.
knew this. Look at the depictions of Buddha. He had a yoni in the background.
Mm.
Look at it. People, all these
Okay.
pictures out of these depictions, even in Egypt, they will always have the great mother in the you know what I'm saying. There will be no great king that didn't have the mother right there because they knew that was the divine balance of the ma'at of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
We complement each other. We are not the same. We complement each other. As men and women complement each other. Now, when we fall from trying to play that role in nature that we divinely supposed to play, we can fall out of whack. Get your last words in, brother.
Well, last words. Um, well, yeah, I think we should start thinking more about our real, true nationality, our real, true status again, because we don't want to go where the so-called America is going right now. We want to get off that timeline and go down another timeline
I
because
like how you explain that. That's a good analogy.
thank you. And we can't go the same way, same path. We there here's where the wheat has to be separated from the chaff. And that's what I have to say.
This is where the wheat is going to be separated from the chaff. So you have no other choice.
Yeah.
Like all these people, like this is why I don't really feel sorry for people when the shit hit the fan and when people suffer. Why don't I feel sorry for people, especially people who have been around me all this time? Because I've been screaming this shit on the top of my lungs for over 20 years now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna feel sorry for people because they shunned me, they dismissed me, they looked at me weird, like I'm a weirdo, and they wanted to disassociate from me. Okay, good, thank you. You know what I'm saying?
So
Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. You understand me? And I'm not bitter about it because it sounds like I'm bitter. But at the same time, I'm really aware of being very critical of my people. I'm very aware of being because why? Because tough love is the best love, man.
yes, that's true. However, at this time, we need some unconditional love. We need to like we need to unify. We need to come together. We need to put aside all of our differences and become one. You know, the whole, the all.
But when
Because
that
we're
happens, in order for that to happen, some harsh realities have to be exposed, bro.
implemented.
One of the
Well,
main harshest reality that what because when we reflect on ourselves, which is a hard thing for us to do as a people, reflect on ourselves. That's when
hmm
we having problems. We don't want to reflect on the fact that problem. As a matter of fact, there is a song by Ice Cube, and Ice Cube, he's working towards the idea, even though from a lack of understanding, he don't understand international law and all that stuff, but he's working toward in that spirit of actually
hmm
having us think like a group, like a group of people, like a nationality, like a nation. We got
yeah,
to think like a nation. So what's in the best interest
we
of us as a nation, right? That hyper
yeah,
individualism, The hyper individualism. Well, I mean, I'm not saying don't be hyper individual, but let's see how far that goes. I know that we can go even further and secure ourselves even more through political unity. And I'm not just talking about any unity, political unity, bro.
Political,
Not just
yeah.
any unity, then that's the thing I want to make a distinction of, man. Because
Mm-hmm.
unity is not as powerful as political unity. If we have political unity, meaning we on the same page on where we stand politically, that's the next level. That's the next level. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Because unity is not enough. We need
yeah.
political unity.
Political unity.
Yes.
And how do
So
we?
we can be on one page, on one accord where we stand politically.
And where do we start from? Where?
We
How do we
start
get?
from you facilitating. You got to come to them classes. I mean, you ain't been getting my texts for the classes.
Yes, I've been getting them. I
Well,
just have.
they started a new one, so I'm gonna start sending you the text. Go to them classes, bro. Get your mind up on this shit. So
Okay.
now, what happens is you don't want to start bombarding people with the knowledge, right? What you do is because you see the interest in this and you understand it for yourself, because it's about got to be based on the free will of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People got to be
Mm-hmm.
up and recognize that this is our best interest, right? So you create a rapport with people. Then you start bringing into the just start gradually talking about why do everybody else got say little stuff to people like why do you think everybody else still got a nationality except us? Just ask some
Yeah.
simple questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do
Mm-hmm.
do you recognize that certain nationalities have a land associated with their title as a nation?
Yeah,
Right?
they have
Actually,
landmass.
hey, little stuff that just makes sense that make people start thinking after a while. And it's like it just makes sense after a while once you get into the familiarizing. Because right now it's just facilitating the mindset. We have to
Yes.
facilitate the mindset that let people recognize where we stand. I was just talking to my people the other day about this. Like our interest does not lie, and every time I talk to people, people cannot disagree with me. Our interest
Mm-hmm.
does not lie with us continuing to do what we've been doing as a people, not just
Yeah.
individuals. Everybody always resort to, oh, you talking about me as an individual? No, I'm talking about us as a nation. What are we
Collectively.
doing? How are we deciding? And there's going to be next week. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna be speaking more of a meeting that we're having in May 19th. Right,
Okay.
it's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
unity meeting on May 19th in Philly. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna bring out the flyer so I can show it on here next week.
Yeah.
So, but that was my last word. So,
Okay. Well then, I guess we're moving in the right direction. Well, things are gonna start happening to where we're not gonna have too much choice but to start thinking this way.
right, that day is here. That day is now. But we don't recognize that's what we like right now. We don't even we gotta understand that our people don't even understand what their best interest is. They don't know. They think their best interest is to keep on going by what they convinced us of during the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
We still on that. We still on that, bro. We still stuck in that era. But we got to go though, brother.
Okay.
See y'all next
All
week.
right. Okay. Next week. Good night, America.